232.
Hey, hashtag Birth TV family. Welcome. It's week 232. I'm Aaron Mack, and I'm here with my good friend, Kevin, aka CBC, BKA others. Basic Complexity. And today, I will take it away with our number share program. So are you ready for our number share because sharing is caring, right? And all of that stuff. Absolutely. And we say one press. I was going to do a count, but that would be silly.
What?
And two. Oh, when is your birthday? And I have some stuff to share about this as well. I'll say it on hashtag VerseTV, June 10th, 1983. It sounds like June, oh my gosh, I have a lot to say on that, but I won't. But June 10th, 1983, and as I might have said this before, but I've taken my birthday down from Facebook because what would happen is when I'd get those, hey, stranger, happy birthday, how have you been? Messages that I'd be like, oh, I'm doing well. How are you? No response. I'd be like, oh, so it's like, oh, they're not really concerned about wishing me a happy birthday. And as I say to people, honestly, and I hate to bring this up, but ever since my mom passed away in 2006, I don't do holidays. And for a time, I lived with a time after that, I lived with my granddad, who was a Jehovah's Witness. He too has since passed away. Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate holidays. So because of that, I was particularly like, I don't need holidays. I don't need celebrations. So for me, like birthdays and stuff, I'm like, whatever. Anyway, Basic Complexity, your new song, my friend.
Hey, well, not brand new, but actually close to brand new, fairly new song is actually song titled Special by Lizzo. And the song um is actually the title track that album, obviously the same name. And the song itself, I like it because the way I see it is definitely uplifting song, and it talks about taking pride in yourself and that you are special. So yeah, I like the song.
That may be a new song of mine also one week.
Uh-huh.
Um, Without going into too much depth, we talked about it on the phone
Well, yeah.
this weekend, actually. But without going into too much depth about what I particularly like about it, I love the line where she says, I'm so glad that you're still with us. And maybe I'll go into why at a later show when I use that as my song because it's in my potential list. But yeah, I love it when she says that. That's, and as you were saying, encouraging, inspiring, uplifting.
Yes.
Yes. And for my older song, I will say none other than 19. I keep belching, but it's better than hiccups. So because I drank a lot of water to get rid of that like quick. Anyway, 1996, The One I Gave My Heart to by
Mm.
Aaliyah. And from her One in a Million album. Huh. Album ver Oh yeah, yeah. I prefer the album version of that song over the single version of that song. When I was a kid, my preference was the single version of that song. And when I say when I was a kid, I mean a teenager, but teenagers are kids. But Aaliyah was also a teenager, but I had not yet really experienced ups and downs of love as a teenager, you know?
Mm.
So for me, the reason I liked the single version is because she did some diva belting in it, in the single version. La da! You know, and I even remember talking with a classmate of mine at that time about how I'm like, no, Aaliyah can really sing. And she's like, child, Aaliyah cannot sing. She cannot sing at all. And, you know, I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts, as people say, that people sing a different tune after Aaliyah passed away.
Mm.
Kind of like when Whitney Houston passed away. Really quickly, though, the line that I love that Aaliyah sang was, you said you loved me, but you didn't love me. She said it like that in the album version. And I was like, ooh, that just, I think it hit different, as they say, like after I crossed 30. But it's like, wow, that that line. It's one of those simple yet powerful lines, like similar to Whitney Houston's song, I Have Nothing, when she sang, don't make me close one more door. I don't want to hurt anymore. And it's like, when I was younger, I 92, I was 9. But when I was younger and growing up, I even remember talking to a friend of mine in college about how that just felt like such a simple line. So simple, so paint by numbers, like, don't make me close one more door. I don't want to hurt anymore. Go ahead and go to the store. You know, it felt like that, but it's it's really deep. And now, as I've experienced love's ups and downs a lot, I can relate because sometimes you're like, oh, not again. Don't make me close one more door. I don't want to hurt anymore. Anyway, basic complexity. Oh, you go ahead. You
uh,
got something? Give
just
it to
like
us. Give it to
just
mama. Give it, give it to. Yes, okay. You know where that came from.
yeah.
See, that's my fellow millennial friend right there. He gets it.
And I don't know why. I know the song, but for the life of me, I cannot think of the name of it.
Sugar Mama by Beyonce.
Thank you. I knew it was Beyonce.
Yeah, you're gay. I'm just saying. There's
Because
nothing wrong with that. That is not a put down.
no,
Ugh,
it's our thing.
I can't wait until kids on the schoolyard or like call somebody gay and they're like, but it's not a put down. I am not. That would be interesting, an interesting turn of the tide.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
but yes, as you were saying, Sugar Mama. Well,
uh,
no. You were gonna answer either the one I gave my heart to or I have nothing.
well, actually, both songs, and kind of like you somewhat said earlier. Um, people in the past made fun of the artist and the songs saying the artist couldn't sing. Like, he ain't got ears.
Yeah, well.
Because so obviously they cannot hear.
You know, after Aaliyah passed away, and ironically, after Whitney Houston passed away, everybody comes out like, oh my gosh, she was the best. Like, if only Aaliyah was alive, Beyonce wouldn't be the only one. It would be Beyonce and Aaliyah. And I'm like, I don't necessarily think that's true. But
you weren't saying it 2 years ago.
You weren't saying it like the day before she passed, the day before you found out she passed away. Same with Whitney Houston. I'm willing to bet there are people who were like, that funny crack addict, she's hilarious. And then when they found out she died, like a few months after that, they were like, oh, I love Whitney Houston. Oh, we'll never get another Whitney Houston. It's like, shut up.
Whole tone changes.
The whole tone changes. Exactly. Anyway, basic complexity. Oh, were you going to say something else?
Oh, no.
Are you ready to get this show on the road, my friend?
Let's go.
Hashtag your pace at Blair Imani at NBJC on the move. Hashtag VerseTV232A.
Coming Out Day is coming up, but is it still relevant? So coming out is short for coming out of the closet, which means to openly declare that you're part of the LGBTQ plus community. I've come out at various points in my life, to myself when I was 8 years old, to my mom when I was 15, and to the entire world back in 2017. On Fox News, which I don't recommend. And I think on balance, being an open bisexual woman has been a great experience, but I have experienced backlash. I don't often discuss the more difficult aspects because I don't want to discourage people from coming out, but at the same time, I don't want to feed into this privileged narrative that you have to come out if you're part of the LGBTQ plus community. I mean that why are we as a society forcing people to tell us when they're not straight or cisgender instead of not assuming that in the first place? The fact is, we live in a deeply homophobic and transphobic society, so why are we encouraging people to come out of the closet even if it might put them in danger or complicate their life? I think that for a lot of us, the encouragement comes from us wanting people to be proud of themselves and to love who they are, but coming out isn't that deciding factor. You can love yourself and all of your queerness and transness, and the only person who might know is you. Instead of coming out, which puts the onus on LGBTQ plus people, the National Black Justice Coalition created the term inviting in. You do have to be invited into other people's lives. You don't have an entitlement to that. Inviting in gives LGBTQ plus people the power to decide when and with whom to share about their sexual orientation or gender identity, or in the case of being intersex, their sex traits. If you feel compelled to come out this year or to invite people in, I hope it's on your terms and because you want to do it, not because you feel forced to. You're not living a lie, you're not hiding your truth, you're just being you, and that's enough.
Last words she said was, and that's enough. Yes. So I will say, first, I want to say thanks to her for being openly bi, because a lot of, but that's part of the reason that bisexuality is not yet fully or more understood, because bisexual people won't come out as bi. That's a necessity. So thank you to Imani for that. Yes. And the main stuff I wrote is, yes, it is a privilege to be welcomed out. I am glad and grateful that I was welcomed out when I came out to my family. Kevin, you too were welcomed out when you came out to your family. And we, having that privilege, need to acknowledge that not everyone has that privilege of being welcomed out. So it's important to also acknowledge, if you are someone who lives at home with family and you kind of mostly think that your family would freak out when you come out to them, don't come out to them until you have an actual method, nope, an actual presence of being able to financially support yourself. And that connects, yes, thank you. And that connects me to a guy that I dated, a gorgeous, thick, light chocolate guy, right after college, actually. And part of his concern was he said that he felt all gay people needed to go through the stress and struggle and strain that he went through because he came out at a young age and his family kicked him out and he had to live on his own from that young age. And it's like that kind of stuff messes with people. So no, not some abstract, well, I guess if I come out to them and they kick me out, I guess I'll work a minimum wage job 40 hours a week and quit school. It's like, no. That's not going to do it. That's not going to cut it. So hold off. You can wait. Sometimes people find out, and I have a billion stories, but I'll just say sometimes people just find out. And I love the idea of inviting in. I think that's a beautiful way to word it. It's not coming out. Now, I'm not saying coming out is a bad thing. I'm just saying I like inviting in even more. I'm inviting you deeper into my life because that's what it is. You're inviting people in. And there are some people who I do feel that it would be better. Oh my gosh. Go ahead, Kevin. I'm gonna use the rest of your anyway.
Well, all right. First off, one, she made excellent points. That's just flat out. But one thing I definitely said at first to myself, but then to others years ago when I was a teenager, the thought I had in my mind was that really, when it comes down to it, the most important person to come out to is yourself first. Just accept it. It is what it is. And then when you accept yourself first, that's the most important thing. Then you work on coming out to others. Now, did it take me a long time? Somewhat. Depends on who you're talking about. Like friends, I told friends when I was still a teenager. That was nothing. But parents, like 10 years later. But that's just what it was. Did they care? No. But yeah, told them later. And the thing about coming out, especially when you're younger, you gotta really, really think about it and be strategic with the way you do it, and that who you tell, when you tell them. Those things are important. And that's what I have.
Yes. And I think that I came out to my family first. I think it was a mix. Well, there were I did have gay friends in college and I keep specifying college, not to be pretentious, but because that was the time, because I didn't come out in high school to anybody. But in college, I did have some openly gay friends, and that was helpful. And yeah, as far as coming out, I guess I came out in mixes, I guess. So I will say, yes, you, the general public, are not entitled to know if someone is Q plus or not. Now, I will say, I think it would be cool, and I'll turn on the 1 minute. I think it would be cool if the general assumption was that everyone was either pansexual, or the assumption is that everyone is asexual until they show otherwise. And still, don't hate them for either one. You know, it's all about love. I'm going to have a long 1 minute because this is given a hard time. So, yeah, the general public is not entitled to it. And, oh, well, I guess I'm right in time for my one statement, which would have come after the 1 minute anyway. But yes, in the meantime, and I love that song, meantime, by BB and CC Winans, you can love, yes, you can love yourself without coming out of the closet, without inviting anybody in. Yes, you can. In addition to that, I will say, just be aware that it can make the dating life complicated, because there are people who, yeah, like, just make sure that you're not so in the closet that you can't date publicly. You can't go on to a restaurant with someone. And I've dated in the closet dudes before. I have. And one of them, I had a pretty consistent relationship. And it didn't work out anyway. But just acknowledge those things. Yes, you can love yourself, but just acknowledge that. Basic complexity.
Oh, wait.
Your 1 minute for A.
Then, you know what?
So I'll go ahead and,
Thank you.
Yeah. And as I was saying, and I'll repeat it, in the meantime, yes, you can love yourself without coming out of the closet or even inviting into your closet. That is, the phrase is not inviting into the closet. That's wrong. No. Or inviting into your life. You can love yourself, and with those things being true, it does complicate your life, especially if you can't do things like dating in a public place. That can be a problem. There are those who do not want to deal with that. And maybe an onus is on us, the out population, to be more understanding and welcoming when someone's not yet on that level, being willing to date publicly. I think part of that's also a younger thing, like, because even, all right, y'all, yes, he was older, whatever. But, you know, previous generations, y'all Gen X folk, you know, you got to be patient with y'all. He wasn't out, but we could go to like restaurants and stuff and eat and be cool in public together, you know? I didn't need PDA. That's another topic for another day. Basic complexity, did you find that 1 minute, or do you want to just move on?
Move on.
Okay, the family yes or no question. Oh, I am asking. Well, you're just answering yes or no. We're just answering yes or no. So, Was your coming out or inviting in process mostly on your terms, Kevin?
Um,
Yes or no?
yes, on my terms.
Yes, for me. And I'll also say the question kind of comes from something I was alluding to, Allure, the singing group, but referencing, speaking to, was a friend of mine. He had written love letters to a man friend of his in grade school, and his mom and father found the letter, and he said he got one of the worst. That almost makes me cry just thinking about it again. One of the worst beatings in his life when they found, ooh, when they found that letter. Oh my gosh. So yes, was it mostly on your terms? Because clearly that was not on his terms. It just happened to him. And it just happens to people in the world sometimes. Sometimes you have an MFer who will out you just to spite you,
Yes.
you know? Anyway,
Yeah.
topic. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I know, but that first
Yeah.
I
Wait,
was
but
partially outed at first.
so it, okay. So, well, I did use the word mostly. So, mostly your answer is yes. Okay. But not completely.
Right.
I got you. B, share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you so very much.
Hashtag HeyShorty232 at TheKidSmitty. Hashtag VerseTV232B.
Wow, this was such a good date. Like, I've never had anyone treat me like this before. You got my nails done, you got my hair done, carrying my stuff.
Yeah, you know I got you, baby. All the time, got your back more than your spine. You feel me? Yeah.
Do you do this with every girl? My stuff, what are you doing?
Alright. So I'm laughing because I I do I partially understood why he walked off like that. Um why he walked off like that because on some level it came across as him being underappreciated for the things he was doing for her, being entitled, not entitled, but being a complete gentleman. And yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I will say, absolutely, sister. In times past, I too have allowed my insecurities to make handsome potentials high step, high speed run away from me. Yes, sometimes we do that, sister. That's our insecurities. All right. Um, yeah, we're growing, right? We're growing. So, are you ready for topic B? Nope, ready for topic C, which you'll be first again.
And okay. Yeah, see it.
And C is coming up.
Hashtag commitment talk at do.the.work.podcast. Hashtag VerseTV232C.
How to gauge if somebody wants a relationship in the early stages of dating. Because at the end of the day, if you want a relationship, then you need to stand in your power and be firm about that. As opposed to, oh, I'm just not going to say anything and let's see if anything evolves and I don't want to be too much, because what you're doing is you're self-abandoning, and that's how situationships happen. Breakdown in communication. So if you're on a date, you can just simply ask somebody, so what are your intentions with dating? Great, I'm super intentional with the way that I date. Just because I want to get married doesn't necessarily mean I want to get married to you, but if I am going to date somebody and spend more time with them, I want to at least know that this could evolve into something, because casual just doesn't work for me. Done. Whew. Boundary set. That way you can then see, do their actions and their words align? If they say they're looking for a relationship as well, great. If they say they're not and you are, and that's what you want, then don't waste your time. No, they will not change for you. No, you will not convince them otherwise. And no, you will not be this magical fairy fucking creature that comes from the lagoon that's going to get them to be in a relationship with you. So save your energy.
All right. Sorry. I just love the fact that she went straight to the point. Because when it comes down to, like, realistically, we are just too old for the kiddie games. That, in my opinion, that ended years ago. We too grown for that. And that's my opinion.
I think that was a song by stellar vocalist that we both love and respect, Tamia. Her song "Too Grown for That." I'm just too grown for that. From her Between Friends album. Anyway, so I didn't even give you the 180. Did you have more to say, or were you trying to finish for the timer? No. Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and say, I like this a lot. And yes, she's absolutely right. Sometimes some people want a relationship and a loving connection. Sometimes people don't. And that's okay. That is okay. You know? I remember, and like, I decided in my mid 30s, early mid 30s, I think mid 30s, there was a time that I decided that I was like, you know what? I am going to put on my jacked profile that I am a man who wants another man to raise a family together. And this handsome fella hit me up in a similar age range. You know, like I'm an older millennial. He was a young Gen X. He was a young Gen Xer, you know, like 70s baby. And for me, 70s or 80s, whenever, it doesn't matter to me. And actually, he might have been early 80s. But he hit me up and he was like, first message was, let's build that family. And I was like, I just wasn't expecting it. And I didn't know how to not give up on love. And I was afraid in my mid 30s, you know, because I didn't get to sort through these things in high school. Don't even get me started. But I was afraid, and I ultimately ran away from him. I found some reasons in my mind to be like, he's just, yeah. So no, you know, it's like, anyway, but that's what he said. And that was a lesson for me, like a song that'll be one of my songs one day. Actually, no, it already was. Eric Roberson's song, Lessons. God has a funny way of teaching you lessons. And it's like, that was a lesson, you know? And a former connection of mine would tell me how he really dislikes gay culture because ... I'll save it for my 1 minute. Basic complexity.
Wow. And I don't know why I just got lost. No. Okay.
You're just gonna run down. You're just gonna run down the clock like at a basketball game. Okay. Cool. I know neither one of us does a lot of sports. Actually, you do sports, but maybe, and I'm going to mention this playfully to you about you, but just as a way to slide this in here, I was going to jokingly say, maybe it's time for you to get the time for your next Ocrevus infusion, help with that memory. And the reason I bring that up is because today I restarted my Ocrevus infusions. Thank you, friend. Okay, I received that. Yes, I did. That was a back and forth for me. I'm not gonna lie. It was a back and forth for me because I was. Okay, I'm gonna take the rest of this 1 minute and then finish. No, you know what? I'm not. I was just gonna speak to my thoughts, concerns, and prayers for Big Pharma. The Big Pharma situation. I actually dated a dude who was an engineer, is an engineer at Big Pharma. And like, I'm like, wow, okay, all right. Anyway, no, he wasn't, whatever it was, he was a high ranking person at Big Pharma. So it's like, wow, okay. And I liked him. Gorgeous TikTok. Anyway, and he liked me too. But I was too confused and unprepared to have a relationship work. I feel stronger now in terms of that. Did I even say that yes, I did. Okay, anyway. But my one sentence is, oh, well, I was talking about the dude that I dated. And what time is it? 42 on topic C. I have enough time to finish this minute.
Yeah.
The dude that I dated, he disliked gay culture. Why? Because he was like, I intensely dislike gay culture. Yes, I'm gay. I accept that, which was a good example of, yes, he was in the closet, but he's like, I don't want to relate or be connected with gay culture because it seems like gay culture doesn't care about anything but pop culture things, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, stuff like that. And they're not interested in raising families. So it's like, that's interesting. And my connection with that, the dude in my previous comment was like, clearly there are gay people who are interested in raising families, but we couldn't. We were not allowed to. We weren't allowed to do marriage until 2015. So that impacted how we would think about connections. But now we can, and we are. I'm going to be in that number anyway, yes. But forget I even said that. My wrap up, my Aaron's final thoughts, like Jerry's final thoughts. And I everybody knows I got that from Jerry Springer show. because the Jerry Springer show, he'd have a. I don't want to seem like I'm speaking ill of the dead, so I will simply say I respect Jerry Springer's place in history. Enough said. And yes, there are people who will see you as thirsty, desperate, because you're speaking of a long-term relationship so soon. But maybe your better move is to simply find a better match, move on to a better match. Someone who's much more serious, like you, like me, like Kevin. And once again, it's like the I'm with stupid sign, because I'm pointing like Kevin anyway. But yeah, whatever. All right. Yeah. The hashtag Verse TV family, yes or no, is have you ever tried to make a partner change to fit? Kevin, yes or no?
No.
And wait a minute. Yes, because right. Okay. Actually, no, and I don't know. I'm not going to think about it. You said yes?
I said no.
Oh, I don't think I have either. I think, okay. So my answer is no. And
I never even had any interest in even attempting something like that.
I think what I would do in my mind is my vocal acrobatics thing to try to change what they were actually presenting to me. Anyway, all right, you better give me an Anyway, whatever. Topic D, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, and I am first. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you.
Hashtag good family at Amanda Seals at Kev on Stage. Hashtag Verse TV 232D.
In my mind, what I want more than anything is 25 years from now on Thanksgiving, I want my kids to be able to come to our house for Thanksgiving with their wives, girlfriends, baby moms, estranged, whatever, whoever they love, boyfriends, whatever they love, non-binaries, whoever you like.
It's the baby mama though.
Bring them to the house. You don't know. Hey, people make choices.
Listen,
people make choices.
paths are not as straight and
That's
linear.
true.
That's kind of like the easing in.
Yeah. Whoever you with at the moment, y'all want some greens?
Come on
in.
You're all welcome.
Why it's important for me to know that that's what I want. Then it helps me inform what I want to do now.
Good.
Because what will happen is.
All right. Yes, you see, that was an advertisement for Amanda Seals' podcast, Small Doses. Check it out to see the full thing. And I will say that I love all three of them. Amanda Seals, Kev on Stage, and Ms. Kev on Stage, aka Melissa Fredericks, which is his last name too. Anyway, I love them, and the Kevin and Melissa are both fellow 1983 babies, so my love has increased exponentially. I still remember. Yeah. There are those in my family who have gone before me and paved the way for me, fortunately, for LGBT. So I have older LGBT families who have family members who have paved the way for me, and I appreciate that. And I look to continue that love and even farther expand that love. That is important to me. And I will say, I know I have been following Kev on Stage. It feels so weird when you say I've been following somebody, but I've been following Kev on Stage's work for over a decade at this point, which means that that's also gone through the times when I was really struggling with accepting my sexuality. Like I was, particularly as my Christianity was growing in a particular way, I would feel uncomfortable watching his shows, knowing that he is a Christian comedian and seeing that sometimes he would have gay guests on his show. And I'd be like, and this still sort of gets to me, but I was at such a troubled point there in my mid-20s that I would feel uncomfortable, and I would feel that us gay people were not worthy of being treated like humans. And I was thinking about that this weekend as I was writing my stuff, and I was like, that actually brought a tear to my eye, because that's what it was. I didn't think that we were worthy of being treated like humans, which is awful. And I had to grow. And I think it's beautiful how he is so accepting and has been so accepting and Christian, because it's not a contradiction. Like Lauryn Hill said years ago. Do you remember? It was some award that she won. I think it was her Grammy. And she was like, it's okay to be fly and be Christian. That's okay. It's not a contradiction. Anyway, Basic Complexity.
Well, first off, I fully agree with another Kevin. Now, for the most part, the majority, not all, but the majority of us, millennials, we are fairly liberal. Once again, not all, but most of us are. And that's just the way things are as of now. And who's after us? Gen Z, they are even more liberal than we are. And that's what I have.
I feel that we're growing in the right direction.
Yeah.
And it takes time. Like Mariah Carey said, love takes time. It takes time. And I also wanted to say this because it was cute when I wrote it and I didn't get to say it. But I came across Kev on Stage in my mid-20s-ish. I was living in DC, and that was during the time that I was in my trying to balance my Christianity with my prude, sexless homosexuality. Because yes, I was a thought in my early 20s, but I became a prude after graduation. And truth be told, y'all, since I have a couple of seconds, I think that part of the reason that my mom passed away the year that I graduated. And I think that just sort of that combined with the whole new world of being an adult, a full adult after college, just really like weighed heavy on me, you know? And it's not like I'd show it and cry or anything like that, but that was a difficult time. So anyway, I was going to tell y'all a story of a dude who sort of helped confirm that I was deciding that I didn't have to just do what men say to do just because they say it, you know? Anyway, my because that was basically my 1 minute. And my one wrap up final thought is, however, wherever a next generation manifest with me, I hope that I and my husband spread the love that teaches that welcoming love is best. People are people, as my granddad used to say, and some people are different. Yes, and that is okay. Basic complexity, you're one. For Kev on stage.
Yeah, I know. Just that as time goes on, as a society in general, we just learn and mature, grow into more complete beings. That's what I have.
I'd like to, and I'm going to follow up in these last 30 seconds. I'd like to think that we're growing and maturing in the right. And actually, I won't. I won't. I would go way over. So, the hashtag VerseTV family yes or no question is raising open-minded, confident kids a priority for you? Basic complexity?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So are you ready for topic E?
Yes.
Share, subscribe, and share again. I'm trying to get the rhythm of that Janet song. Never fall in love with you again. Anyway, but yeah. Topic E.
Hashtag CerebralTV232 at Irene_2 at Ranan Comedy at History in 3 at Real Tamia World. Hashtag FirstTV232E.
My pronouns are she, her. Yeah, I know I have big they energy. I know I can see this as well. Yeah, everyone assumes that I'm non-binary, which is why I'm not. So, yeah, gotta fight back somehow, right? Yeah, no, I probably am. I'm just being stubborn at this point. I just feel like if I still identify as a girl, I'm like a cool girl, you know? Like, I'm a lesbian who skateboards. That's cool. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just a really boring non-binary person. Okay, like my hair's one color, I don't have any tattoos or piercings, and I think monogamy is okay. It's not a good look for the brand, all right?
A lot of people think that if you let transgender people into a woman's bathroom, it'll be a loophole for predators, you know? And if you think that, that means you believe there are guys out there going, Man, I'd love to go into a woman's bathroom and abduct and murder someone. But unfortunately, I'm not allowed in there. So I guess I'm just not going to murder anyone ever again. I guess I'm just done murdering people. I'm a murderer, but it says woman on the sign, so I mean, I'll murder someone, but I'm not about to break bathroom sign rules. I'm not a monster. It's like that time I was chasing a woman with a knife in the park, and then she got into the woman's bathroom. I'm like, you're safer now. I'm gonna stand out here and wait for a bill to get passed.
So it's 1830 and Andrew Jackson, white supremacist, forced indigenous people off their land in Georgia and forced them into Oklahoma. We all know this as the Trail of Tears. What's less known is just how black the Trail of Tears was. It was a black slave who found a gold nugget on sovereign Cherokee land in Georgia. That's when Andrew and the U.S. government said, y'all have got to go. The Cherokee, the Creek, the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, the Seminoles, all of y'all, gone. Because whites went exclusive control over that gold rush. Now, some of these nations already had black ancestry, and some of them had black slaves. So on this treacherous journey to Oklahoma, thousands of indigenous people died. You also know at least 175 black slaves died with them. I mean, the 5 nations in Oklahoma were estimated 18% black. But slavery was different under each nation. The Cherokee and the Creek were cold. They had racial codes just like in the Deep South. Didn't even want folks marrying one another. And in comparison, the Seminoles were cool. Blacks and Seminoles wore the same clothes, they married one another, they even merged religious beliefs. Life under the Seminoles was so much better that black slaves from the other 4 nations would escape to the Seminoles. But let's not get confused. Slavery is slavery. These slaves tried to get free every chance they got. There were several slave revolts, including one where over 50 people escaped to Mexico. Even though we celebrate Juneteenth because the last slaves were freed in 1865 in Galveston, Texas, slavery didn't end in the 5 nations of Oklahoma until 1866.
Inspiration.
FYI, and people may or may not know, but of course I call Tamia inspiration, as she's also got the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, and just seeing that she still tours and stays active, and she sings and engaged in the dance as well. And the line dance is a popular thing for that song, but it's just like, yes, Tamia. And the gay in me has to acknowledge, oh my God, Kevin, did the gay in you acknowledge the height of those heels? Yes. Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. We are gay, period. Yes, high heels. Like, I think that's where the term high comes from, because those heels were like sky high. And Spike, and she was dancing. Now, I'm not going to lie, Beyonce probably danced in such heels before, but still, you know. Do you remember, speaking of Beyonce, we're at the end of the show. Yeah, we have a couple of second minutes. But the song, for some strange reason, you're done pleasing me like it's okay. Like a perm that's been left too long, the result is it just won't take. That actually is Sugar Mama. Give it to Mama. Give it. Give it to mama. Give it. And the reason I bring it up is because in that video, she had high heels that were like ballet slippers. And she and all of the dancers were standing on their like tiptoes on those heels. I'm like, all right, Beyonce. Even though I don't accept myself as a gay man, I see you. Anyway, it took me a while, y'all. It took me a while. That's part of the reason that I was behind the 8 ball. You know, and I often speak about, and I'm saying this and you can comment on this. I speak about the fact that we were not allowed to get married until 2015. But truth be told, I wasn't even ready until I crossed 30. You know? So there's a dude that I did. It all comes down to a dude. But there's yet another dude that I dated who actually helped me realize that it's like, not F the other people, because I don't have sex with a lot of people, I'm sorry. But forget other people's opinions, because you live your life. And I took that and I was like, okay, I dig it. Now, the question for you that I'll ask in our minor discussion, if gay marriage was available for our entire 20s, would you have gotten gay married? Do you think?
Well, things were difficult for me in the past because of a past relationship that kind of just threw a wrench into everything.
You're talking about boyfriend number 2 again?
All right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you act like I said his name. I said boyfriend number 2. Nobody has any idea. Huh? Nobody has any idea who boyfriend number 2 is.
I'm aware of that.
Okay. Anyway.
It's
all right.
Just that dealing with that individual, so who ruined so much for me, because I could have gotten married to really boyfriend number 3 a long time ago. Yeah, but my mindset was all kinds of screwed up because of number 2.
Okay, well, that's an answer. Yeah, I simply wasn't ready before 30. And I can't pinpoint any particular people. That's just how it was on my journey. Let's see.
I mean, if things had played out differently, I was definitely in the mindset actually fairly young to be married early.
To a man?
Yeah, actually.
Wow. See, we are not the same person, and I think that's good because I wasn't there. I was still thinking when I was much younger, I was thinking I was going to marry a woman. And oh my gosh, yeah, in my 20s, as my I hate to bring this up as if I'm blaming it, so I kind of won't, and still hope that the story makes sense. But in my mid-20s, I wouldn't even pray for a man because I was like, well, whatever you send me, God, if you send me a man or a woman, and that's where I was at that time. Now, I have a lot of things that I'm just not going to go into, y'all. I'm sorry. Kevin, did you have anything else to say?
Not that I could directly think of.
All right. Hashtag Verse TV family. This has been week 232. I used to have a voice. I haven't used it in a while. They say if you don't use it, you lose it. And again, today was Infusion Day. I know I can't blame that, but I'm just saying. Anyway. Yes, I'm Aaron Mack. You can find me at Aaron Mack at versetv.com. That's AARONMCK at BERSTEAB.com. And you can find hashtag VerseTV all over social media. As I tell like the majority of my Uber drivers, hashtag VerseTV is an LGBT plus and ally social media millennial collective. We're all over. Check us out. Kevin, where can we find you, friend?
Yes. All right. Well, it's not even that many places. All right. First off, I could definitely be found on TikTok under my basic complexity. So, say, well, alright. So, that's capital M, then Y, then capital B, A, S, I, C, capital C, O, M, P, L, E, X, I, T, Y. And once again, that's TikTok. Now, on Instagram, I'm just under basic complexity. So that's capital B, A, S, I, C, capital C, O, M, P, L, E, X, I, T, Y. And finally, my email is basiccomplexity@versetv.com. So capital BASIC, capital COMPLEXITY at VERS capital T capital E capital A lowercase v.com. And yeah, that's what I have.
All right, friend and friends in the social media landscape. Thank you. We will see you all next week for week 233. And Kevin's going to answer our question next week because we're going to alternate every single week. And I've already got a new song for y'all. So, Basic Complexity, are you ready to get this after show communication on the road. Anyway, I'm kidding. But all right. So we'll talk to you later. Hashtag Burst TV family. Hashtag BurstTV.com. Have a good night. Peace. BurstTV.com. Stay blessed. Good night. All right.